Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO Harry Potter years 1 through 4. Let's continue the story. So we did task 2, so now either we do task 3 or task 3 gets interrupted by a major catastrophe. One of those two things happens. I don't remember. Even if we do task 3, we are really just not doing anything as far as important plot. We're just playing along with the story and doing what happened during that time at school. So they've now opened this new section. Turn that or what? So I think this is how we get to Dumbledore's office, which I think that's Dumbledore's office right there or over here. It's strange these pixies are holding this picture right in front of them. Another picture. See, once I hang it back up, there's a guy, and I can just hit him, and he'll switch the thing. Dumbledore again being the principal headmaster of this facility, and seemingly very, very willing to put students at risk. Not very good at ensuring the health and happiness of his students. He seems to somewhat have a plot going on himself because he took like the okay, so the third task is a maze. Now I remember what happens in the movie. And it's almost exactly what I predicted. So only one person solves the maze, I suppose, and then gets the thing. And is this a anything goes thing where you can magically take out your opponents? I wouldn't be surprised if it is. What's weird is the teacher seems surprised when bad things happen too. It seems ridiculous. So if I'm guessing correctly, this guy is going to tell me which way to go. So right, then left. Right, then left. Alright. So we're going to have several of these. So we're going to put the statues together, and the statue is going to tell us magically which way to go. And it's probably going to get more difficult. Left, then right, then down. Alright, so left, right, and down. Switch over here to the plant thing. I have to get close to each one of these, apparently. And I should keep an eye out just to make sure there's not, like, some collectible somewhere in one of these squares. Because I bet there is. Like, walking right up here, you can't see. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was something to collect in those. But I'll wait till I have the indicators, the red bricks that point to it, to save myself some time. So right, then left, then down, then up. Alright, fine. Right, then left, then down, then up. And we are done with that, so here's the dark magic section. Run through here. You see that guy is jumping through the bushes like he's doing something bad. But he may not actually be doing anything bad. And I have to get the right distance to cast us this way to unlock this door. Was it really necessary in the story to introduce students from other schools? I don't think so. There's already a ridiculously large amount of students in schools. If you wanted to add more, you could have simply had them be transfer students instead of this track and field task that is gone to in a crazy extreme. But yeah, you didn't really need to introduce any new characters considering how many it seems like the book mentions. So take note that the majority of the sides are just 3D game models of hedges, but the Legos pieces that are sliding are actually made out of Legos. Although it's not the most imaginative design I've ever seen for a hedge. That would be kind of a difficult thing to make in Lego. This really isn't too much of a maze, as much as it is a straight path with some turns in it. But that's alright, I guess. I don't know what more I can really expect from this game, considering it's kind of made it obvious that they're targeting a very young audience. All these Lego games are certainly for little kids, but this is even younger. I would probably recommend playing this game first before any other Lego series. Really. Just because there's less difficulty in it. And it's shorter. So if you're a young kid with a short attention span, it would probably work well to your advantage. Here we have a Sphinx. There's all kinds of collectible things lighting up. I won't get them all. I won't get most of them. That book. Let's see, we need a spider and the Sphinx because the spider apparently will get afraid. And we don't have a character unless this guy has a animal character, which he doesn't. We don't have anything that would work there. So come on. Free the student hole, who is hidden in an area I can't even see. So we're gonna cheat this hedge maze. You don't see this very often in Lego games either. I can't think of another example of it actually, where you would jump over something and cheat. So here we have a Lego fly that's designed as a Lego fly pretty well. And here's your standard Lego spider that we see more Lego spiders in the Lord of the Rings game. free of this section. Okay, so we'll run around here and just see if there's anything I missed. Have yet to get True Wizard even once in the game. That's a little shocking. I would have thought at this level there would have been at least one level where they would have made it incredibly easy to get True Wizard. But it hasn't happened. Probably because all the levels are incredibly short. There's just not been enough gameplay. Now the question is, does Harry win this contest or does the upperclassmen? Usually they separate contests by the year and they try to make it so that the ones that have only one last chance to win. So the upperclassmen win and then freshmen are allowed to lose. So the guy who was the rat is then casting a spell with he who should not be named to bring him back to life, and it was a trap. And apparently they needed Harry's glasses to revive him. So, like the entire... I think we can use the name now. We're finally named He Should Not Be Named because this is the right time. There, they named him even. Press X repeatedly to fire the spell back at Voldemort. So this entire book has just been a setup of a plot to bring Voldemort back to life. And now we start having these tap X repeatedly to fight people with the spells, and you don't do it very often in the first 4 years, but you do it quite often in the second game. It's an alright mechanic, I suppose. It's better than trying to reflect or hover a magical boat backwards. And so now the ghost of his parents show up and save the day. And what, did the upperclassman just die there? I guess he did. Or did they put him back together? See, I don't know if this is a joke or not. And then it turns out he was a bad guy too. And they knock his block off, and it turns out, no, he's the snake guy. And so there was a good guy. I think his name was Mad-Eye Mooney. But I don't even know where the switch happened there. If throughout the entire semester the bad guy was teaching the classes or what. And see, they kind of jumped over that entire section right there. All of that plot, which was probably at least 5 minutes in the movie, just got skipped through in about 20 seconds. Because they couldn't put a video game level to the background of it. They weren't putting any dialogue to it, so there's nothing you can do. I mean, if you decide to make a game with no dialogue and no video game, and you can only put video game levels in specific points, which Harry Potter is pretty much a not very good game to make a video game on anyways. It would work better as a Walking Dead Telltale game type thing where you were just having conversations with Hermione and Ron, and they would the main story dialogue still happen the same way. In fact, that's one thing that I always thought about they could do, is they could have you play a dialogue choice game based on a story like Harry Potter, and then give you a better score if you could remember the exact line of dialogue. So if you just memorized the whole book, have photographic memory, then you would get a perfect score on the game. But they could also make it seem pretty obvious what the right storyline choice is, and then allow players to make their own decisions. Particularly in Harry Potter's case, if you could control the dialogue here, you could certainly have Harry fall in love with Hermione, which at this point in the story kind of is, but it doesn't really work out. So I could totally see people telling the tale they wanted to tell doing that, and that would probably be better since there's so much dialogue in those books and so much expository things that are explained versus actual actions that are done. Video games and movies, it's show don't tell. Writing books, it's all tell. You can't really show. The only thing you can show is if you have some animations or your pictures in your book. So we're definitely seeing where this game is suffering under the weight of an immensely long series of books. And it's trying to make a game that's lighthearted and funny, and the funniness doesn't really work when you know the story and when you've seen the movies, because this movie, Year 4 in particular, is pretty dark. It is the dark turn of the series, and it just gets darker and darker for the rest of the series, and so there's really no room for Lego comedy in this at all. The credits here are pretty lazy, I will say, with nothing in the background, and sort of short for the number of people here, for the number of people that actually worked on the game. I think twice as big a team would be justified for working on this. This game kind of needs a remaster, although, again, I'm not sure a Lego version of Harry Potter is the right game. I think a better just Harry Potter video game would work, and there's been enough time for somebody to really think it through and do a good job. We still get Star Wars games, so it's not beyond the realm of the possibility that somebody could say, here's Harry Potter Book 1, we've made it into a AAA like billion dollar seller video game where we're going to take 60 hours to really build up your experience there. Where do you get those 60 hours? I'm not sure. I don't think you can do just the first year or the first book. I think you have to do the whole tale of Harry, all the books. But I think you could do something there. Or you can do a spin-off thing and you can say, well, you're not going to play as Harry Potter or any of the main characters. You'll just play as a student at Hogwarts during the time. And then, see, that would work really well too, because then you don't have to you don't have to change any of the dialogue or any of the actions that the main students take place with do. You can simply have your own adventures and every now and then hear about the fabled Harry Potter and his adventures. That would kind of fall in line with the way Hogwarts seems. It seems like if one kid is running around fighting Voldemort, it's very possible that several other kids are running around fighting somebody just as bad as Voldemort. Let's see. This is 2005. That's 11 years ago. I had not realized it was that long. So we're at 31.8% done here. And that's the game as far as story. So now starting with the next level, it's going to be weird because we're going to just play in free play mode. If I come over here, it's just return to Hogwarts. That's the thing. So I need to run around and play in free play mode. I don't have like dark magic. Only specific characters do. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to switch to like Tom Riddle to use dark magic in the free play world, and then our first attempt will be to find all the red bricks and use those to our advantage. I don't intend to go back to any of the levels until we've unlocked probably all the extras and done everything in the open world. And each recording now is going to be about an hour long, which is really weird because each level so far has only been about 20 minutes. So it's a huge difference there. And that may mean there aren't actually that many episodes of the open world, because I may just find everything in an hour or two. That's very possible. But that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. Here we have the list of levels if we want to run back, so we can see clearly there's like 3 characters in each level, which is a strange thing because that's not usually how it works. You usually don't unlock characters inside of levels, but there's so many characters to unlock. So also there's in the lower right hand corner the medallions for each house, and in the lower left hand corner we have the student in peril. And I guess that's all that really tells us. So that's going to be it for this recording. Starting next recording, we start making progress. We have 29 of 167 characters. We need to probably get, I would say, all but 18 characters. There's probably slightly less than 18 characters in the levels. So the rest is just open world stuff. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.